Old white lady that was helping me at the counter was sweet as can be, nice as hell. Hey baby, what brings you way out here in these sticks? You just coming to get some gas? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with these parts, but kind of not, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to Gainesville, I'm just shooting through, I'm in and out. She's like, all right, baby, God bless, you have a good one. Get my stuff, go back out to the truck, try to put the key in there and start the truck up. It will not start up. I wait a few seconds, put the key in there again, try to start it up. It will not start up.
I just realized I live in a fucking sundown town. I am in Astoria, Oregon, like right in the tippy top of Oregon, right next to Washington. And I just happened to be watching a video of some dude's experience. He was truck driving in Florida and he broke down at a gas station, and the little lady was like freaking out because the sun was about to go down. She was like, you got to get out of here. She calls the police.
Welcome back to the channel, my people. I do hope that from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. And I do hope that God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that support me on here, and thank you to my members as well that support this channel. As always, we have another interesting episode to look at. We have a brother that got stuck in a sundown town. Horrible, right? There's quite a lot that went down. But guess what? This story located one person that needed to hear it. And she came out as well to confess that indeed the town she lived and knew all her life is a sundown town. And she was saying she is gonna move. She said, no wonder I haven't seen a lot of black people in here. All along, this is a dead zone, right? But do you think moving is a solution? Do you think if you move, it's gonna stop this town from being a sundown town? When we know in 2025, these people are planting more sundown towns, disguising them as palm-colored only communities, right? Calling the movement going back to the land or going back to the roots. Which roots specifically? We have to listen to the brother's story and more other reactions and the lady. And let me know, is your town safe for black people? Because what is being revealed right now in the US? Do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Being a truck driver in Florida, let me tell y'all the first experience I had of finding out what a sundown town was. It was a Thursday. I was driving a 26-foot box truck from Orlando to Gainesville. So I'm between Ocala and Gainesville, but I gotta stop and get some gas and get some food or whatever. But I see absolutely nothing as I'm driving. It ain't no houses, no buildings, just road and trees. I finally find this old Circle K gas station in the middle of nowhere. Old white lady that was helping me at the counter was sweet as can be, nice as hell. Hey baby, what brings you way out here in these sticks? You just coming to get some gas? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with these parts, but kind of not, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to Gainesville, I'm just shooting through, I'm in and out. She's like, all right, baby, God bless, you have a good one. Get my stuff, go back out to the truck, try to put the key in there and start the truck up. It will not start up. I wait a few seconds, put the key in there again, try to start it up. It will not start up. Don't know what the f is wrong. So I call my dispatcher, and my dispatcher tell me to look up under the hood to see if I can figure it out. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I say to myself, man, I'm not about to go look up under this foot. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking at. I signed up to be a driver. I ain't no damn mechanic. But I'm sitting there for like 20, 25 minutes, so I get bored. I'm like, all right, man, let me just go look up under the hood, see what I can see. So as soon as I get out of the truck, go around, pop open the hood, and as soon as I look down, the lady that was helping me in there comes out in a panic. What's wrong, baby? Is everything okay? Are you all right? I say, yeah, ma'am, I don't know what's going on with the truck. It won't start up, and I don't know much about trucks. I called my dispatcher. I don't know what they're gonna do. They figuring it out now. She was like, all right, well, do you need a tow truck or anything? Do you need an Uber or a taxi to take you closer into town? And I was like, no, ma'am, I'm not allowed to leave the truck. It's a lot of valuables on this truck, and I'm delivering. I can't just leave the truck. I can't just leave it. She was like, all right, I understand. And she goes back in the gas station, but she keep looking at me, looking at her watch, looking at me, looking at her watch. And then she comes back out there and says, well, you don't want to sit up in some hot truck. You can't get it fixed, no AC, and there's nowhere for you to sit down in there. Like, so you're just going to stand out here and just sit in this hot truck? I said, honestly, man, right now, I don't have a choice. I'm just waiting for my dispatcher to hit me back. She said, okay, I understand. My dispatcher called me back and was like, listen, we got a tow truck coming out out there in about 2 hours. Just sit tight. I'm like, damn, 2 hours is hot as hell. I'm ready to go. Then again, I was like, it's all right. I got food. I got drink here. The sun about to start going down. It's not going to be that hot, whatever. And I didn't want to go in the Circle K because of how the lady was acting. So I was just like, I'll be all right, whatever. She seen me get off the phone. She ran out to me again and she was just like, did you figure anything out? Do you know what you're going to do? I was like, yeah, my dispatcher said they got somebody coming in 2 hours for the tow. I'll be fine. She was like, 2 hours? The sun will be down by then. Are you sure they can't figure anything out before then? I was like, they said 2 hours. And she looked at her watch, went right back in the store. Few minutes go by, I get thirsty, so I ran in the store to go grab a Gatorade. As soon as I go in the store to get a Gatorade, she had her back turned and she was on the phone talking to the police, talking about, yeah, he's been here for a while, you gotta come get him, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I bought the Gatorade and I left. And I was like, damn, she was calling the police. She was calling somebody on my ass. What the fuck? So I called my dispatcher back. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's about to go down, but this old lady that worked at this store just been giving me problems or whatever. When she found out I wasn't going to be able to move my truck, I think she just called the police on me. I don't know what's about to happen, but can y'all shake a tail feather? My dispatcher was like, why would she call the police? I was like, I don't know, and I don't want to find out. Can y'all hurry up? 5 minutes after I get off the phone, sure enough, the police pull up right behind my truck. A black police officer gets out and he asked me what's the problem, asked me what's going on. He assesses the truck and says, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. I said, I can't leave my truck. Like, what are you talking about? You about to get me fired. He said, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. Get in the truck. Get in the back of the truck. We driving for about 30 seconds. And I'm like, bro, where the fuck are you taking me? He was like, are you familiar with the mall area? He was like, that's a good area. I said, yeah, I'm familiar with the mall area. He said, yeah, that's where I'm taking you. I said, what are you taking me to the mall for? I can't leave my truck. He said, you have to leave your truck. I said, why? Because that called the police on me. I ain't even do nothing. He said, she didn't call the police on you. She called the police for you. I know her personally. He said, in 45 minutes, that sun was going to go down and you was going to go missing. And I ain't say nothing else. I already knew by then. I put 2 and 2 together by that point. When we finally got to the mall, I called my dispatcher and I told the officer, I'm like, yo, I need you to tell my dispatcher why I had to leave the truck. And he grabbed the phone and told my dispatcher everything, got on the phone, called my boss and told my boss everything just so I wouldn't get in trouble. The lady was scared for my life. Even the officer didn't even stick around. He like, yeah, I'm just gonna drive you out here. Cause he could have easily been like, well, I'm just gonna stick here with you so nothing happened to you. He was like, nah, nigga, we gotta go. We gotta go. Even when the tow truck guy came and picked me up, I told him where it was at. He put it in the GPS. He was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. I said, what the hell? He said, yeah, I'm not going over there that late. I'll come back and get it in the morning. Mothers didn't want no part. So yeah, this was about 7 years ago, and I swear I think about that shit every other day. Damn near every day. And shit, I mean, because she could have just not said nothing. She could have just let me sit there. And I would have went missing like a mother.
I just realized I live in a fucking sundown town. I am in Astoria, Oregon. Like right in the tippy top of Oregon, right next to Washington. And I just happened to be watching a video of some dude's experience. He was truck driving in Florida and he broke down at a gas station and the little lady was like freaking out because the sun was about to go down. She was like, you got to get out of here. She calls the police. They come and escort him somewhere else. He thinks he's getting the cops called on him and it turns out she's trying to protect him, which is cool. But dude, okay, so I was like curious to see how many of these still existed. Cause like in places like Florida or Texas, or where I'm from originally, like the South, you expect that. That's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, there's still some fucking disgusting little racist assholes. People are still stupid here. You know what I mean? So you assume that shit. You're like, yeah, well, it sucks, but like, it's not surprising because that's just the way these shitty people are. But I live in Oregon where I thought that like people are like super progressive and blah, blah, and I know this place has like super racist roots. I know that like the history of this place was pretty racist, but like I thought, anyway, so I'm all like over the place because I'm so upset right now. So I started looking at other videos to see like how many of these places still exist. And there's this map where you can look and it has these red dots and the red dots are like darker if it's like certain. And in I was like, oh, I wonder how many of these are in my state. So like I can avoid these places. I live in one of them and it's one of the ones that's like certain. And now that I think about it, I hardly ever see black people here. What the fuck? I'm gonna move. This is ridiculous. I can't believe. And I was surprised because I saw a black comedian, a creator, was talking about growing up here, and she was like, Lake Oswego, they call it Lake No Negro, and I was like, Lake Oswego is in downtown? This is crazy, y'all. I'm like, and I'm just gonna say for any like, you know, nobody will see this video. I have literally no followers, but if you are somebody who thinks you are better than other people because of the color of your skin, you are stupid. Like, not only are you not better, you're ignorant, and like Neanderthal little mind can't compute a simple fact. Like, skin color does not determine shit about people. In fact, the people who are molesting children and shooting up schools and doing unspeakable awful things most often are fucking white people. So if you happen to have that little thought in your fucking brain, you need to know it's just the opposite. Actually, they're better than you, because they probably realize that skin color does not determine whether or not you're a good person, or whether or not you're valid, or whether or not you're worthy, or whether or not you deserve to have a good life or money or whatever. Like, that is such backwards ass, like, toothless cousin fucking trailer trash, pathetic, disgusting. Like, when I hear people when I hear that people still think like that, that's what I imagine. I imagine you're living in a fucking in a whole trailer, in your cousins, like that right there. You are disgusting, and you are not better. You are definitely not better. In fact, every single person you see of color is immediately better than you by default, and I just need you to know that, okay? Oh, I'm so upset.
Ever since I posted that sundownTown video, there's been a lot of people inboxing me about their story. A lot of truck drivers hit me up about their story. And at this point, if the government is not going to protect us from these towns, or not going to do anything about them, then there has to be an easier way to, like, let us know about them and let us know where they are. Dude just told me his brother and his nephew tried to take a road trip across the country and went through Alabama and tried to take a back road, and he ain't seen them since 2013. 2013, he ain't seen them since. All they found was the car on the side of the road. Another girl just told me she worked for Amazon. She drive the vans for Amazon, and she was in Melbourne, Florida. She went inside a Publix to go piss, came back out and looked on her windshield, and it was a note that said, "You better not let the sun beat you out of town." And Amazon tried to send her back over there the next day, just said go earlier. If the government is not going to help us get rid of the towns, then they need to help us know where the towns are and stay out of the towns. We need a GPS just for us or something. It need to be something that simple. It's a GPS letting us know, hey, no niggas allowed. Your skin too dark. No town for brown. Down, nah, hell no, like something. And everybody that's hopping in the comments like, well, I lived in Florida my whole life. I've lived in Alabama and Georgia my whole life. I've never heard of such a thing. Lucky you. Lucky you. White dude in my comment section right now talking about, well, sundown towns weren't about violence. They're about community. What? There has to be something we can do, because just driving through towns with our fingers crossed, hoping we don't break down or run out of gas is not enough. It's not enough. For everybody else that just keeps saying like, oh, you just scary as hell, you pussy's head, bro. If you ain't never been on one of them country back roads in your life, shut up, bro. If you ain't never been on one of them dark country stick, nothing but trees and dirt road, your headlights barely catching what's 20 feet in front of you, all you hear is wind, and you got a Bible on your lap, bro, it get real lonely, real quiet, real fast, bro. It's not like driving through the hood. Everybody like, oh, it's just like driving through the hood. It's not like driving through the hood. It's 40 people on the porch in the hood. It's people playing outside. It's this dude over here selling this. It's a group of girls right here. It's people trying to buy something and sniff something and crack and sell something. It's cops over here in the hood. It's not like the hood. It's just you and them sticks, you and them trees, and you don't know them woods like they know them woods, bro. I'm telling you, bro, it's different. We need something, bro. We need something. We need some kind of heads up. We need some kind of GPS or something, because having that tool on your hip and that Bible on your lap is cool until it ain't enough.
I just made a post about the sundown towns on my post the other day, guys. Sundown towns are real. Trust it.
The fact that it's still cities and states like this that have the sundown is amazing. Ain't like the government don't know about this. Like, my whole question is for the people that live in these cities or these sundown states or whatever, what is your big problem with black people? Like, as if you didn't know that it's black people all over the United States. As if you don't know for a fact that your forefathers came over here and stole this land. And now you're trying to claim it like it's yours, and can't nobody enter it if they don't look like you. Like, that's crazy to me. What is the fear that y'all have so bad? I'm gonna need somebody from one of these parts down south. Man, come explain yourself.
Yeah, the secret they don't want you to know is that the Goonies are white supremacists. Just kidding. But really, Oregon Territory, which included Washington State, if you want some history, it tried to ban all non-whites at one point. And then, of course, the Civil War happened, I believe. And then I think they even still tried afterwards, but it was not flying. And then there was at one point, obviously there was segregation laws. There was there was KKK rallies throughout. There was anti-Chinese riots throughout the West Coast in the 1890s, 1880s, and into the early 1900s. There was what was it? There was I'm losing it. Nazi rallies. That's right, Nazi rallies. They they also rallied in the 30s in Tacoma, in the Hilltop neighborhood, ironically, which is now considered like the black neighborhood or whatever. It's, I don't know. It's probably been gentrified over again by white people, but yeah, that's where they had what was at the time a white neighborhood, I guess, because there was not really any black people out here at the time. Yeah, it's not a pretty history. There was a cult in the 70s that tried to they poisoned the buffet, and I think they killed some people. And I think their entire motive was like to trigger a race war. And then there's like, you know, the Bundys did their thing over in Oregon wilderness somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. And then there was the recent kid, the guy who shot the firefighters in Coeur d'Alene last month. He was the son of a white supremacist who was involved with the Aryan Nations, who had headquarters in Coeur d'Alene. That headquarters they lost to a lawsuit to the ACLU, and so the ACLU and the claimants had the fire department burn it down in a practice for whatever, you know, burn it to the ground basically. And so on the anniversary of that happening, that's when that kid decided to shoot. Well, he's not a kid; he's an adult, grown-ass man. He shot those firefighters on the anniversary of that day. Now, you can look at his story and see that he had many things going wrong with him in his life, but you obviously see what's going on. But yeah, this place is nuts. It's not liberalville like we would think, but the cities are cool, usually. I mean, people bitch about homeless people, but whatever, fuck it. I'd rather deal with homeless people than Nazis. Fuck them.
When stories like this come out, right, a lot of these people go in the comment section and they be like, I don't think that is happening. I have never seen anybody going through what you're saying. They're going through. How are you going to see a palm-colored person going through a black person experience? Make that make sense. Because to be honest, if you talk like that, if someone has to evaluate your statements, you sound something that I don't want to say. And let's leave it like that, right? Because how do you expect to live a black person's experience when you're not black in the first place, right? And how are you going to see black people in that town when you know for sure they are not there? Now, I saw one of the videos replying and responding to the brother's video. He was a black man who I assume, it's not good to assume, but I assume probably he's married to either a lady like this, so he lives in this town. And he say, if you don't belong to this community and you come here, of course stuff will happen to you. I was like, my God, what a statement to make as a black person living in a predominantly palm-colored community and society, knowing the history of your people and what has happened to them. Someone replied in his comment section and told him, I can smell a house when I see one, because you sound like one. And I couldn't agree more. I can't lie. Because man, oh man, how dare you? When a brother is putting out his experience and you think it is okay for people that look like you, even if they don't belong there, to just be passing by because they are doing business and they're working and they have to be afraid for their lives. And you're saying it's like a community? Oh, let's not forget that when they are planting these so-called communities, they are calling them communities. But we know at the bottom of it, they are sundown towns, places where they don't want black people and any other person of color because they're pure. They're going back to the roots. They're going back to, practicing their what? And I'm wondering, when has it ever been a problem for you to practice your values, your culture, your tradition when you're living among others? I've never seen a palm-colored person attacked for being palm-colored. I don't think I have seen that. On the simple few years that I've at least been using the internet, I have not seen that. But I have seen quite a number of our people that get attacked for just being. Yeah? So, Is this like a competition of who is the biggest victim over here? I mean, you really compete and steal everything to an extent that you even want to steal other people's lived experiences when you haven't lived them. How ridiculous. Yeah. So the sister was like, she wants to move. And by the way, first of all, I want to say that indeed, they are good white people. Because from listening to this story, there is good white people. Like the older lady that called the police for the brother to be rescued. And thank God he was rescued. That was only 7 years ago. You think that is so far? If you think that is so far and you have a 7-year-old, right? Look at your child. And if you were taken back and that child is taken away from you, you think that will be so far? So trauma lives on. Yeah, doesn't matter how long ago this was. These people are still talking about, oh, get over the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, right? Get over it. I mean, move on. Well, the Jews have never gotten over the Holocaust, even if they were actually compensated and they were given reparations. Meanwhile, the people that deserve it the most, it's like, oh, for you it is normal to suffer. It is okay, get over it. Everybody tells black people to get over it. But hey, for me, it was so good to see that actually there's one good palm-colored woman that is like, no, son, you have to get out of here alive. And she made sure that he gets out there, out of the place alive, which is amazing. Yeah. Now, when we go to the lady that felt convicted, I felt so horrible. That she lives in one of those bad towns. It's not your fault that the town is like that. So don't be trapped in guilt because the town is like that. However, living is not the solution. The best way to transform policies and communities is when you get engaged and involved. Some of these towns will never ever be safe for black people, except if palm-colored people do something about it. Yeah? And I have seen quite a number of brothers saying, you know what, we are going to organize an army and we are going to, make sure we deal with these people. Good thing, because the government don't care. You think they don't know? Most of the people that live in these towns are law enforcement people. And these are the same people that find our people and harass them on the roads. Because where are their roots at? In towns and cities like that. So moving out of that town, it's not going to save you anything. It's not going to save you guilt. You probably won't be able to live with the reality of the fact that actually this place has had a lot of bloodshed. Yeah? But the thing is, it's not going to change its reality. You have to get involved. You have to spread awareness. You speaking up, you are actually letting more other palm-colored people that live in your area that think like you, that, hey, actually this is a problem and we need to do something about it. Because if everybody is American, right? But then there's a limitation to where some Americans can go and where some Americans can't go, then what is that? Are you really all Americans? Or theoretically, all of you are Americans, but when it comes to coming on the ground, it's a totally different story. Everyone has to watch out for themselves. Now, mind you, we are not talking about black people that are going to these towns causing chaos. No, we are talking about black men that are hardworking, that are truck drivers. I have a special place for truck drivers because guess what? Everything you get at your convenience, it wouldn't even be in those convenience stores if it wasn't for a truck driver that is transporting them. So these people need to be protected at all costs. Some of these jobs, you people look at them and look down on them simply because you have degrees. These are the people that provide you the convenience that you need. Yeah? And they need to be respected and protected at all costs. So if you want to ask me, why do I talk about truck drivers all the time? Even if it was about my people here, I would still talk. Because guess what? I love me a convenient lifestyle. I love me a good shopping. And guess who transports these things? Not the same people that are destroying others, not these people that are planting communities in the disguised name of community, when in fact they are just establishing places that are not safe for others. And these are the same people that literally, probably we can say that they are fueled in the trucking industry, but this is not a job that is designated for only them. So how about, we make it safe for truck drivers and people that are having trades? Because guess what? They are very crucial. If they diminish, if they are not there, you will feel the impact. Anyhow, I guess the community gets involved. I guess this message gets spread out here. There's so many people that have experiences in this, like my brother said, and you might have an experience as well. Let me know. I want you guys to let me know what you think. If you have experiences, put them in the comment section. If you're palm colored and you're watching this, do you know any history about the town or the small, country town you live in? Do you think it is safe for other people? And if you say you're not racist, what are you doing to make some of these places better? Because policies can be transformed better and communities can be transformed better when there's a collective community effort, which you should be putting to make sure that your brothers, the ones that you say you're not racist to, are safe as well. Just like you don't have to worry about your kids when they go to work. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because for me, for today, that's it. I do love all of you, and I'll see you in another amazing video. Have you ever been trapped in a sundown town?